Hello, everyone. We can't thank you enough for your patience. We are still looking to perfect which software we're using for our webinars. This is a new software experience for us, so if you want to share your thoughts at the end of the webinar about how it went for you on your end, we are wide open to feedback. So it looks like everybody is here, so let's begin. Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us for Kalco's next webinar style series featuring coastal design and decor. We've organized a brief history and informative facts that help support and layer the sales conversation on the showroom floor. As our industry expands in every direction, we know delivering trend-driven designs at competitive pricing is part of a larger conversation. Our objective is to add more details to the inspiration behind our collections, and we hope these details make it into your customer conversation. If you aren't available for the duration of this webinar, you can always revisit using this content using the link we'll send you after it's been completed. In addition to taking a second look, the email will include a Dropbox link to the image assets for every featured collection. As your partner, we encourage you to share these assets with your marketing teams and design customers to help create content. First up, the Harper collection. This coastal-inspired design features hand-painted faux driftwood accents and a simple Florence gold finish with metal bands and hardware. The defining characteristic of this collection are natural materials, a reflective color story, and classically inspired design. You'll notice that we have some key collections from previous webinars in this as well, and this is intentional. We're designing to meet the demands of many different customers, and we hope that when you look at these collections and understand that they have a place in many different genres. Starting up, we have on the left-hand side a Malibu, California beachfront property. Featured in the award-winning HBO series Big Little Lies, this Malibu, California beachfront property rents for $5,000 nightly and features many of the defining characteristics quintessential to American coastal design styles. Origins. It's only natural for a style of design to develop around its surrounding environment. All too often, we take for granted the impact our native landscapes have on our own very own backyards. Technically, coastal style and design can be segmented into three distinctive categories: American, Mediterranean, and tropical. Our webinar is dedicated exclusively to the American coastal design and decor, always considering the natural elements presented in any one specific region, acknowledging the inherent differences between the laid-back style of the California coast versus the layered elements of tradition in Martha's Vineyard. These all carry similar core elements that help unify this beautiful beachy interior look. Though home to almost 40% of the US population, coastal areas account for less than 10% of the total land in the contiguous United States. In the US, 127 million people live in coastal counties. First up, the Roxy collection. Warm oxidized gold leaf frame with authentic capiz shell shaped into a simple and familiar soft basket weave design. On the right-hand side, we have the beautiful dining pendants, and on the left, a lovely 6-light island light. The defining characteristics of this collection, of course, the capiz shell with the natural materials and a reflective color story. Next up, the Prado collection. Inspired by the patterns found in Rome's Parthenon, the Prado collection marries natural capiz shell with architectural design, featuring a handcrafted open frame and a cool oxidized silver leaf finish. On the right-hand side, we have the dining pendant, and on the left, we have the sconce for this collection. The defining characteristics here are natural materials and a reflective or neutral color story. Defining characteristics. Natural materials: wood, shell, glass. Reflective color stories: white, natural hues, bringing the outside in, and classically inspired design. The photograph we have here is on the right-hand side is driftwood in its basic form on Driftwood Beach, located in Jekyll Island, Georgia. Driftwood is a wood that has been washed onto a shore or a beach of a sea or lake or river by the actions of winds, tides, or waves. Most driftwood is the remains of trees, in whole or part, that have been washed into the ocean due to flooding, high winds, or other natural occurrences, or as the result of logging. It is often bleached to lighten and unify the color, creating a signature whitewash look in addition to disinfecting the wood. From Allegri Crystal by Kalco, we have the beautiful Lucia collection, featuring a funky Sputnik center column, hand-painted vintage silver leaf finish with stunning mother-of-pearl accents and clear crystal beads. A really great example of our commitment to quality. So other manufacturers may stop after the loop and just have a plain canopy that of course matches the finish, but we carry on the design from the bottom of the ball to the top of the canopy. The defining characteristics of this collection are natural materials with the mother of pearl, a reflective color story, and of course this empire shape is a classically inspired design. Also from Allegri Crystal by Kalco, the best-selling Cielo collection features delicately strung Ferenz crystal beads and knots in an empire shape on a cool, disappearing polished chrome frame. The defining characteristics for this collection are natural materials. We have this texturized glass look, very similar to glass you would see on a beach, a reflective color story or a neutral color story, and classically inspired design with that beautiful empire shape. Natural materials: wood, shell, and glass. The use of natural materials in coastal design is no accident. Many of the raw materials we see are dew point battle tested and proven to withstand the corrosive elements lingering in the atmosphere. On the right-hand side, we have a decorative mirror comprised of oyster shells. In the middle, we have this lovely, lightly stained ocean-colored glass with a rope accent, giving a healthy nod to the nautical elements that you find in American coastal design. And on the far left, we have a driftwood bed set, bringing the outside in. Excuse me. The Belmont collection. Wrought iron construction and hardware featuring hand-painted reclaimed wood accents in a Florence gold finish. This is a bestseller for a reason. We consistently see great numbers and big followers with this particular collection. If you don't know about it, please ask your sales representative. And if you want more information about the Belmont collection and why it converts so well, you could reach out to the marketing team and we'll share some assets to help you better understand the inspiration behind it. The defining characteristics here are the classically inspired design, this open-aired lantern feeling, and a reflective color story. Next up, the Bradbury collection. This coastal-inspired design with hand-tied rope detail and optic crystal accents are featured in a polished nickel finish. The defining characteristics here are natural materials, of course the rope and metal, and the reflective color stories or a very neutral color story. Coastal life most certainly looks different for every community, but the origins of the quintessential beach house have firm roots in early 20th century American culture. America's nouveau riche flocked to the nearby shores to summer away from their more centrally located dwellings. Made popular by the British aristocracy's love of the French Riviera, America's richest families begin to build a culture emulating Britain's noble class in their own backyards. Perhaps one of the most famous beach houses On the left-hand side is the Kennedy compound, located in Hyannisport, Massachusetts. And on the right is a nice illustrated map of the Hamptons, located in Long Island, New York. Next up, the Montauk Collection, a modern update to a classic design featuring detailed bandings and wired guards paired with clear hand-blown crackled glass and a polished nickel finish. The defining characteristics for this collection are the natural materials, reflective color story, and a classically inspired design, of course here with a modern application. Two bath families from Kalco. On the right, we have the beautiful Greenwich collection, neo-retro white porcelain canopy with a modern hexagonal frosted glass and a classic polished nickel finish. On the left, we have the Clearwater collection, hand-blown Venetian-style spun glass, oval shades featured in satin nickel, as we see below, or a stunning vintage bronze. And the glass here for this particular collection is really a great mirror of what you would see even on the shoreline or glass overall. If you haven't had the chance to check out this collection, please take a deeper look. It's absolutely stunning in both the satin nickel and that rich vintage bronze finish. Defining characteristics here are the reflective color story, natural materials, and very classically inspired design. Next up, the Sutter collection. Simple open lantern design in a romantic warm silver finish. It's also available for outdoor applications in matte black. This warm silver is really kind of iridescent, and something that you would kind of catch in nature, and it's a great way to bring that natural element indoors, not being too warm or too cool with a finish selection. On the right-hand side, we have the outdoor applications, noting again our commitment to quality, these individually threaded glass covers for the lamping to protect it from the elements. Defining characteristics, again, are natural materials and a reflective color story. Reflective color stories, white, natural hues, and bringing the outside in. Color palettes found in today's beach houses have the most practical origins. Bleached, texturized boards hide tiny grains of sand carried in from the beach, while subtle blue tones bring the water indoors. Color pops coordinating with nature's surroundings. This is a room set up from Serena and Lily on the left-hand side, and you'll notice the browns and the blues are built on top of each other in a monochromatic way, layering the color story and making it quite neutral, but with small pops. The Covington collection, coastal-inspired modern hurricane lantern, designed with a polished nickel finish. The defining characteristics here are natural materials and a classically inspired design with the throwback to the hurricane. Next up, the Bridgeport collection. Woven stainless steel construction, the least corrosive material available for coastal communities, and clear crackle glass and a polished stainless steel finish. On the right-hand side, we have this beautiful mini pendant, and on the left, this has a bath collection going from 1 to 5, and this familiar basket pattern, having it work well with the coastal decor overall. The defining characteristics here are natural materials, the crackle glass, and a classically inspired look. Classically inspired shapes and patterns. The appearance of roughing it certainly differs from the actual experience. Classic beach decor intentionally repurposes familiar shapes and patterns within its design scope. We see classical shapes and accents reimagined to meet an open coastal interior or traditional furniture using neutral upholstery for a seamless transition from inside out. With no compromise in quality, coastal interiors simply use different materials but keep in step with luxury's defining silhouettes. On the left-hand side, we have the Beechwood collection. Authentic wood beams cascade a simple royal mahogany wrought iron frame and create this perfect coastal complement. In our mind's eye, we can easily see this configuration in crystal or other materials that keep it classic, but here we're using the wood to have it fit into the scope overall. Next up, from Allegri Crystal by Kalco, the Capri collection. Firenze crystal drops and polished chrome beads in a simple open empire shape with embedded jewel bandings and a polished chrome finish. This very open, airy design is a perfect fit for crystal in the coastal decor. Here we're featuring natural materials and a reflective neutral color story. A really great example of kind of bringing the outside in. It's open air, so it's easy, but you have both the polished chrome beads and the glass sort of playing on top of each other. Next up, the Middleton collection. Detailed wrought iron construction with hand-painted driftwood accents and a rustic natural iron finish and hardware. A really incredible sconce in this family, worth a second look and a deeper dive. We invite you to take a longer look on the website, maybe even on your showroom floor for your customers. The defining characteristics here are the natural materials and, of course, a reflective color story. On our right-hand side, we have our Southern California Surfer Girl. Surf City, USA, otherwise known as Huntington Beach, California, not only altered the landscape of Americana, but surf culture in general had an enormous impact on the casual, fun nature of coastal style in Southern California. I have my research on the left. You're always welcome to take a look at that. It's so incredibly informative to learn about how this particular design scope and others have evolved. To learn more about these collections and other collections from Kalco Lighting and Allegri Crystal by Kalco, please reach out to your local account representative. The Kalco Lighting marketing team welcomes and encourages feedback and is available by email at social@kalco.com. Our customer service team is available to you by calling 800-525-2655 or via email at orders@kalco.com. On the right-hand side, we have the famous portrait of Daniel Henry Cohwiler, circa 1910 by Pablo Picasso. And it's a shout out to our next webinar style series on modernism. Please join us on August 19th to explore that design scope. I want to thank everyone for coming today. It's always a pleasure to have you here, and we're so appreciative of your patience. If there is something that you would love to see in these webinars that you're not seeing, or you'd like to see more information about these collections based on specific questions your customers have asked you, please send us an email and give us some feedback. We're here to make your lives easier, and that's very much what we want to do. So give us a call, write us an email, and let us know what you think. Thank you so very much, everyone. We really do appreciate your time. Thank you.